We'll call the Mayor Board of Aldermen meeting for Tuesday, March the 28th to order. First item is we'll have the invocation by Pastor Johnny Bird, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand, please.
Father, we thank you for the city that we live in, God, and for all your mighty blessings on it. God, I pray that tonight as decisions are made that are going to affect our city, God, you would let us hear your voice, that, God, your spirit would speak, and we would look to you for wisdom and understanding. Lord, your word says if any man or person lack wisdom, to let him ask of God, and he'll give it. So, God, tonight I pray as our leaders make decisions, we would act in wisdom that we've asked you for. God, give us grace when we make mistakes, and God, let us love one another as you have loved us. God, give us great grace tonight in guiding our city. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
all. Our future meetings are the Family Assistance Commission on April the 3rd at 6 p.m., Planning Commission on April the 3rd at 7 p.m., the Beer Board meeting held April the 4th at 6 p.m., Bartlett Station Commission held April the 5th at 7:30 a.m., and City Beautiful Commission at April the 6th at 6:30 p.m. I did want Bartlett Station is in the morning at 7:30 a.m., so I want to make sure you caught that. So, as a custom, we recognize any scouts that we have in the room, and look like we have a whole row of young fellas back there. If y'all would like to come to the microphone and state your name and the troop you're with, you can come forward now. Ed, is the microphone on? Good.
My name is Derek Mink. We are scouts from Troop 27.
Thank you, Derek.
I'm James Flynn, and we're here for citizenship of the community and communications merit badge.
Thank you.
My name is Jonathan Pesty, and I'm a Life Scout in Troop 27.
Thank you.
My name is Trenton Williams, and I'm second class in Troop 27.
Thank you.
My name is Wesley O'Brien, and I am also a Life Scout in Troop 27.
Thank you. Can we give him a round of applause? Well, the next item on the agenda is our 2022 Employees of the Year recognition, special time of the year, and I'd ask Mr. Art Steaking to come forward.
Thank you, Mayor and Aldermen. It's my pleasure to announce the 5 2022 recipients for Employee of the Year. Each was nominated by the department directors and selected by Mayor Parsons. They'll receive a beautiful award, a certificate signed by the mayor, and a cash award. So if you would please come forward when your name is called, and if you could please stay up here for a group photo at the end. Catherine Aldridge. Kat is a skilled clerk in the Solid Waste Division of Public Works. Her nomination was submitted by Matt Crenshaw. And here are a few comments from the nomination. In February 2022, the city was hit by an unexpected ice storm. FEMA declared the event a disaster, and all regulations and guidelines had to be followed to qualify for federal reimbursement. Catherine was assigned the daunting task of organizing daily load, tickets, receipts, billing, and other documentation from our employees and contractors, as well as communicating with other divisions and city departments. Kat is on the front line daily, answering phone calls and dealing with the public. We are thankful for her dedication to Public Works and the Solid Waste Division, helping make daily operations run smoothly. Please help me congratulate Catherine Aldridge. Donald Stringfellow. Donald is a building service worker reporting to the mayor's office, and his nomination was submitted by Jeannie Underwood. Here are a few comments. Donald is the epitome of an excellent employee. He consistently goes above and beyond on a daily basis, doing more than is expected of him. This year, he had extra duties for several months while other employees were out for extended periods of time. Donald took care of City Hall with no lapse in services. We really appreciate Donald and are so thankful that he is on our team. Please help me congratulate Donald Stringfellow. Michael Sherman. Michael is the firefighter paramedic in the fire department, and his nomination was submitted by Chief Tommy Gately. A few comments say, Michael shows up each day ready to work with a great attitude. His peers have a great respect for him and enjoy being stationed together. He is active with the Bartlett Honor Guard and Tennessee Task Force 1. Michael is committed beyond his firefighter schedule. He shows up to off-duty fires for support, as well as volunteers to cook at the pancake breakfast. He is a valuable member of our team and very deserving of this recognition. Please help me congratulate Michael Sherman. Catherine Booth. Catherine is a lifeguard and water safety instructor at the Bartlett Recreation Center in the Parks Department, and her nomination was submitted by Shan Criswell and Paul Wright. Here are a few of their comments. Catherine continually goes above and beyond in her duties as a lifeguard, water safety instructor, and in coaching the middle school swim team. She arrives at 4:30 a.m. to open the pool each weekday at 5, and always has a smile on her face and a willingness to serve. Her reliability, combined with her willingness to take on additional responsibilities when needed, makes her a cornerstone within our department. We are extremely grateful for her continued contributions to the city. Please help me congratulate Catherine Booth. Christopher McKee. Chris is a police officer in the police department, and his nomination was submitted by Chief Jeff Cox, and here are a few comments. Due to his patrol diligence and commitment to his job, Officer McKee consistently performs in a manner consistent with the values and expectations of the department and the city. One example from many is during October, he initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle with a fraudulent temporary tag. He quickly discovered the vehicle was reported stolen. The on-scene investigation revealed that the 3 occupants were part of an organization committing vehicle thefts in the Memphis and Shelby County areas. His professionalism and his willingness to help others are traits that every officer should emulate. Please help me congratulate Officer Chris McKee. If y'all could all come together, I believe Megan Williams would like to take a group photo. And once again, congratulations to each of you for this award.
This is a special time because an individual like this, according to many of the coaches I've talked to, only come around once in a lifetime. An individual this talented, and today we'd like to make a proclamation that Maggie Graham of Bartlett High School won her 4th consecutive TSSAA Wrestling Championship on February the 25th of this year. I will. I like to look at her when I'm reading it to her. In Maggie's 4 years at Bartlett High School, she helped grow the girls' wrestling program from the only single athlete her freshman year to 14 girls in her senior year, from 1 to 14. And during that time, Maggie's become the most decorated female wrestler in Tennessee history. She became only the 4th girl in Tennessee history to win 4 consecutive state championships. 4 consecutive state championships. And she was the first ever from Shelby County to do so. She is also named TSSAA, it's a lot of S's and A's, but I hope I got them all right, Female Wrestler of the Year twice, and only the 2nd girl ever to accomplish this feat. And her senior year, she led the Panthers to the 6th place team finish in the state tournament. Maggie's also a 3-time All-American, Fargo Nationalist bronze medalist, Super 32 silver medalist, Folk Style national champion, and a Pan Am Games silver medalist. And Maggie has an impressive and historic list of wrestling accomplishments. During her high school years, she's already committed to continuing her wrestling career at Life University in Georgia, one of the top wrestling schools in the nation. And therefore, I, as mayor of Bartlett, Tennessee, proclaim Tuesday, March the 28th, 2023, as Maggie Graham Day. Maggie and all your coaches, please come forward. Is any of the coaches have anything they'd like to add? Just want to know she got a little sister?
I said this to Maggie at our banquet just last week, that, her freshman year, she was the only girl wrestler on our team. The next year, there was 3 girls. The next year, 9. This year, 14. Just slowly grew. And I firmly believe that if Maggie hadn't come around, we would not have a girls wrestling program right now. We've had girls wrestle in the past, but the program never stuck. But when you get someone that's this talented right off the bat and getting success, success breeds more success. And so the team is going to be in a good place moving forward. We finished 6th this year, and hopefully Maggie will be coming back and rooting us on at the state tournament next year.
Good. Y'all scoot down, we get a group photo right there.
Turn it off.
Let me just say, too, thank you, coaches, for what you do with our kids.
Go Panthers.
Mr. Mayor, I'd also say that her mother's a 1994 graduate of Bartlett High School.
Oh, let's see. Now for the official business of the day. Approval of the minutes from February the 28th, Mayor Board Alderman meeting.
Move we approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those, please go to your devices and vote at this time. Unanimous vote. Minutes are approved. We move to the consent agenda now. There are four items on the agenda. And on the consent agenda, any of these items can be removed for separate discussion by any member of the board. Is there any item that any member wishes to remove?
Mr. Mayor, could we remove item number 3, please, for discussion?
Okay. We'll move item number 3 for separate discussion. Madam Clerk, could you read item 3 into the record, please?
Commercial site contract for Lopez Grill.
Yes, sir, Alderman Reeves.
So I believe a lot of this work happened prior to us coming on the board, so I have a couple of questions before I can approve or I can vote on this. So if John would come up and be helpful.
Mr. Horn, our city engineer.
Yes, sir.
So So can you give me some, just real quick, background on the project, the way it's being designed? I believe I know where it's going, but tell me kind of what's brought us to this contract so far.
Sure, no problem. So this is a site plan, a commercial site plan project, so this is very typical under our commercial projects. This project over the last couple of years has gone through our planning commission, our design review commission, which is very typical of all of our commercial projects. And so at times during that process, the developer would come in, we would discuss the project, we would get plans submitted to our office, and we would review. This project's taken over a year. You know, sometimes projects go to sleep and they come back to life, and so this one's done that a couple of times, but it's been through all the planning boards. And then when a commercial or a residential project, when the plans get to be at least about 90% finished, then we regard those as substantially complete enough for us to do a contract. And so the construction plans for the Lopez Grill are beyond 90%. They're almost 100%. We're almost ready to sign off on those construction plans. And so, but before we do that, we are required to come here, and the developer is required to submit a contract with the city that allows them to go to construction. And so this commercial contract has $68,360 is the public improvements that are going to take place on this project. They're going to do private work that we don't bond, and then they'll do some public work. There's some water extension that's required for this project. There's a storm drain that's got to run across Shelby Street, so that's public infrastructure. There's some curb and gutter that has to be repaired. And so that's considered public infrastructure, and we always bond that to protect the city. And so on page 11, you see there is a development bond or a letter of credit that the developer will have to submit to us. Assuming this gets approved tonight, then their final steps would be to submit a letter of credit in the amount of $68,360 that will be approved by our city attorney and by our city clerk, Penny. And then they will have to pay the fees, and the fees are listed there on pages 10 and 11. And those fees total $20,611.20. They'll have to pay those fees. They'll have to post their letter of credit. They'll have to execute the contract, sign off on it, and then that will allow us to sign the construction plans, and then they can go to work.
So how is ingress and egress being handled into that property? Do you have visibility into it based upon this? I don't have the site plan in front of me. And for me to approve this, I have to agree, I think, with the project. So,
sure.
Is there a drive off of Stage into the property, or does it come in off Shelby?
It's off of Shelby.
Okay, so we're not coming in off Stage.
Right, that's correct. Yeah.
What about the street light at Shelby, which is a nightmare for anybody who tries to traverse Shelby and Stage? And people coming out and pooling. I mean, is there going to be work done to make that better? Or that spot right there, because, you know, I spend a lot of time in that part of town, you know, so that spot right there, one, is dangerous because of people topping the hill and coming around the curb. So, number one, I'm glad there's no ingress off of Stage. But coming out, that light stays red for long periods of time. So is that going to be something that gets remediated because traffic can back up and it could impact Mr. Regal and the rest of that crew over there? So
we're going to have to monitor the signal timings right there. I mean, the good thing is obviously it is signalized, and the exit from the restaurant onto Shelby is back. I forget what the distance is. So we believe it should function correctly, but we're going to keep an eye on it. And I don't remember the number of parking spaces at that location, but I think that signal is going to be able to accommodate it just fine, but we will have to monitor it. And if we need to modify the signal timings, we can certainly have that done.
Yeah. Did you raise your hand? 42 parking. So this is El Adolo. It's El Adolo. Okay. I have one more question. Is there any way I can ask a question of the owner?
Yeah.
Would that be okay? Would that be permissible? I have a question of
Could I ask one?
Yeah, go ahead,
for-
go ahead.
The $68,000 worth that has to have the bond, but you said there's other, do you know how much other improvements going to be
Look on
done?
page
That
10.
doesn't have to be bonded?
Oh, the private work?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's grading that's gonna take place, part of that retaining wall that
Yeah.
you see along stage is
right.
gonna come down.
Is that retaining wall under the,
It's not, we don't typically bond that.
okay,
Any of the grading work, we don't bond that as
Okay.
well. Every project has some private work that we don't consider public
right,
infrastructure.
right,
That's not any of their parking lot work and their curb and gutter within the parking lot, we don't
Correct.
bond that. That's all considered private work.
correct.
So there's about 21,000 of water relocation that has
Yes.
to take place in Shelby. And the other portion of that is gonna be that storm drain that's gotta be relocated, the traffic control, the road repair, and there's a small detention basin and some erosion control. That's what we would typically bond on a project like this.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions for
good.
John?
I'm
And
good, thank you. Good.
just why I know that John's available for questions you may have going forward.
Well, I'm like David, this all came about before we're in here, so this, when we got the minutes, first time we've seen it, so.
I understand.
Let me ask a question, and it started off kind of quick. What's this place, what's it called?
To the item we're talking about now,
Yeah,
it's Lopez Grill.
okay, that's what I thought.
And then is Mr. Lopez. Yeah, if you come to the mic, please, and state your name and address for the record, please.
That's fine. Hey,
All right.
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, so.
What you like to know, you say?
Mr. Reeves?
Yeah, so just a quick question for you. Congratulations on being a landowner
you.
but I have a question about your existing spot.
Okay.
If I could, if you can maybe just provide some insights. Any particular reason why you're moving from your existing spot, which is right across from Freeman? It's a good spot up on stage. Kind of what's your thought process and
What I got right now is kind of small, so I need it on Fridays and Saturdays. I have a lot of people waiting, so I need a bigger space, and I don't have no bar in there, and I'm trying to make a better patio because
Yeah.
people in Bartlett like the patio so much, so I'm trying to make a nice patio, and that building is kind of old, so I'm trying to make it something new for my customers.
yeah?
Yeah, it's
Good deal. Your
something better.
Are you having any issues with your existing building?
Not really, but I mean, the owners don't like to fix anything, and I'm tired. I'm
They
there
don't like to
already
fix
for
anything, right?
I'm there for 8 years, man, and I always put in my money. So right now, the conditioner is not working, and I have to put it for my packet, and I'm tired.
Do you know what may go, or has there been any conversation about what could go in there after you leave, or has there?
I'm not sure. The thing about it, I still have contract there, and I'm trying to open both places for a little bit to everybody find out that I move over there. Probably I keep it there for a little bit.
Yeah.
In case both restaurants I can run, probably keep it both. That's why I put a different name, so that way
Yeah.
it can be different.
Okay, cool. I have all the questions I have answered.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Just want to thank you, Mr. Lopez, for staying in the west side of town. I appreciate that, and I totally understood why you waited for the construction cost to come down. Yeah, I've been asking you for a long time, when you gonna build, but I'm sure it's okay, probably, if people can't get out of there, they can probably cut through Regal and through that steakhouse parking lot. That's this over there. Just come right across there. That's right.
Mr. Mayor, I do have one question on the fees. Are these fees standard that we're charging? Does the city set the fees
Yes,
that
sir.
we're charging?
They're set by ordinance at the beginning of the year with budget time.
They're set by ordinance.
Mhm.
Are they pretty customary and usual based upon what we've put in there, or are they excessive for our type of city?
John, would you like to address that? We've made some revisions, trying to get them more in line with other municipalities, but I'll let Mr. Horn answer that question.
This is very typical. These are the same fees that we assess for any commercial. They're very consistent. We don't modify them. They're all by ordinance. Same thing, we have a commercial contract, and it is of the same type every single time. We have a residential contract, and it's identical, and so we don't vary from that. We try to, that has to be consistent from project to project. Now, certain projects don't have certain, like for instance, if a particular commercial project already has a water tap and sewer tap already there, that's already been installed, then they may not have to pay for that, but this is very consistent.
Got it. Okay.
But David, they're not these are higher than residential. When we develop a piece of property residentially, they're not, commercial rates are a little higher, but we have fees that have to be paid, but they're not, commercial's a little higher.
And this is only for new construction, right?
Yes.
Yes,
And
Not necessarily for redevelopment, just for new.
was there a water tap and sewer tap there?
there is. I believe they have.
Because there was a home there, right?
Be a small house there. The Featherly house was there.
But the
so-
water tap probably wouldn't accommodate the restaurant if it was from
That's
the,
correct. They, one domestic and one irrigation was requested. I think there's a 3/4 inch
yeah,
there.
yeah, and that wouldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah. So they're having to do a new tap, not existing.
So something just think about in the future.
Well, she
We have an
graduated in
existing
19
Bartlett business who's been generating sales tax for
lived there
years,
until she died.
property tax for years. I don't understand why we charge them this much if they're gonna do something in Bartlett. So just something that we can take offline and maybe talk as a group, but they've been generating sales tax and all kinds of revenue here for years. And we're charging them the same that we would charge Joe Blow from out of town, you know? But either way, congratulations to you guys, and look forward to eating at your restaurant after it's
Call
built.
the-
And if your parking lot is too full, we can go next door there to the steak park.
So
Oh,
the question's been called, so the chair to entertain a motion and a second to put it back on the consent agenda. Is that a motion?
It's been pulled as a separate item.
Okay, then we'll move back to the consent agenda. I'm sorry.
We approve this one and then go back.
Do we have a motion?
No.
Yeah, I'll
We have a
second.
motion now.
second.
You got a motion and a second. So please go to your device and vote, please. Motion carries. So now we move back to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, I'd ask you to read the remaining items into the record, please.
Item 1, special event permit for One Less Orphan 5K fundraiser. Item 2, special event permit for Bartlett Station Farmers Market. Now, item 3, treasurer's report for January 2023.
Move we approve.
Motion? Properly second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, please go to your device and vote, please. Motion carries. Moving to new business, Madam Clerk, you read item number 1 into the record, please.
Professional fee proposal for 1-year extension of audit contract with Watkins Uberall PLLC with option to renew for 2 additional years.
Mr. Dick Phoebus, our Director of Finance.
This is a proposal for contract for audit services from Watkins Uberall, who is our current audit firm. I apologize, the summary page in your book is not correct. It was from last year, but the fee schedule, which is also in your book, is correct. So the fee schedule proposed for FY23 is $203,000, FY24 $213,000, FY25 $223,000. And of that total amount, Bartlett will pay $89,500 in for FY23 audit, $88,500 for FY24 audit, and $104,000 for FY25 audit. The remaining balance will be billed to Bartlett City Schools, and they will pay that. And I've already forwarded this proposal to the Chief Financial Officer, Teresa, at Bartlett City Schools, and they understand that this will be the new proposal for audit contract for their school as well.
Motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion or questions for Mr. Phoebus?
I've got one question. Is there a reason why it went up as significantly as it did?
Well, it takes more time, especially in the school department with their activity funds. That's one reason why it went up. That's to be covered by the school department. It also takes more time for them to audit our records and all the requirements that GASB and the audit comptroller's office requires in the audit contract and in the audit itself. It just takes time, and time for them is more work and more money.
Okay, thank you.
No more discussions, so thank you, Mr. Phoebus. Please go to your device and motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Phoebus. So now, Madam Clerk, will you read item number 2?
Resolution 03-23, a resolution to amend the fiscal year 2023 general fund budget to appropriate $103,200 for peace officer supplement pay for police department certified personnel.
Mr. Phoebus, Director of Finance.
State of Tennessee appropriates money for police officers called supplemental pay for certified personnel. This year they've sent us $103,200 to pay 129 certified officers at the time of the agreement. These monies are already in our funds and will be distributed in the next payroll.
Move we approve.
Motion properly second. Any discussion?
Does everybody on the police department get that money, or just certified people?
Certified officers,
And how many of those are?
129.
And how many officers on the police department? Okay.
Any more questions? Hearing none, please go to your device and vote. Item 6.3 resolution passes unanimous. Madam Clerk, will you read item number 3 into the agenda?
Resolution 04-23, a resolution to amend the fiscal year 2023 Bartlett City Schools General Purpose School Fund, School Nutrition Fund, and Education Capital Projects Fund.
Again, Mr. Dick Phoebus, Director of
This is a
Finance.
resolution adopted by the Bartlett City Board of Education on February 23rd of 2023. They are appropriating $1.455 million out of their fund balance, general purpose school fund balance, and $670,000 out of the school nutrition fund balance to fund various projects that are detailed in the attachment.
Been properly motioned. Was Robert used a second? Been properly motioned and second. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, please go to your device and vote. Resolution passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, please read item number 4 in the record.
Resolution 05-23, a resolution to establish an updated occupational safety and health program plan, devise rules and regulations, and to provide for a health and safety officer and the implementation of such program plan.
Mr. Ted Archdeacon, our Director of Personnel.
Thank you, Mayor and Aldermen. We are seeking your approval tonight to update our occupational safety and health program plan as required by the Tennessee Department of Labor. Changes include an update to the reporting requirements to the state for hospitalizations, as well as updating our points of contact for city facilities.
Second.
Been properly motioned and second.
I got a question.
Mr. Alderman Reeves, you're recognized.
Why do we have to approve this? Is it required by the state?
It's required by that state,
the governing
yes.
body to approve it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Any more questions? Hearing none, please go to your devices and vote. Resolution passes unanimously. We now move to open discussion. open to the board first and then the directors. I would like to make one comment that tomorrow, if you go eat lunch at Jersey Mike's, 100% of their sales tomorrow will go to the Bartlett Police Charitable Foundation. And I just want to publicly say thank you, Jersey Mike's, for choosing the police charity as a choice charity of your choice charity. And so tomorrow, let's eat lunch at Jersey Mike's, and our Police Charitable Foundation will benefit from that. I'd also like to make one other announcement that our Alderman meeting, our board meeting held on April the 11th, on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock that day, we'll have a 100 update at our next board meeting. So please join us in the chambers for a 100-day update. So now we will move to anyone on the board wish to make any announcements, anything to say? Mr. Alderman Reeves, you're recognized.
Yeah, just a quick update on the parade ad hoc committee, because I figure everybody kind of wondering what's going on with that. So great news is that we're making good progress on the parade. The city will put out more information next month about exactly the theme, the parade route, the dates, all that's coming. We've got all that approved and ready to go. Now we're just kind of working through some of the logistics pieces of it. We're not meeting tonight because we met twice earlier this month, so we canceled tonight's meetings. We'll get together back towards the end of April. But really excited to bring the parade back this year on December 2nd, and really looking forward to executing on that. So, but I'll let the city kind of put out the official on all the details of it, just that way it's all in one particular post or in communication. But we got it, date, time, parade route, and the theme, which is going to be pretty awesome this year. So that's it.
Thankful for the committee's hard work, and Christmas will be here before you know it. So I'd like to recognize any, Alderman
I have one more thing. I think the Jersey Mike's is dinner also, right?
You said lunch and dinner and the.
Lunch, yeah. Okay, all day, yeah. And also, don't forget the Saturday at W.J. Freeman Park is the Easter egg hunt from Parks and Recreation. So that's, if you haven't seen a million kids fighting for little plastic eggs, it's amazing. It's amazing, man, I tell you, because they'll bowl you over for all that. But at least they are divided in different groups, so different age groups. So it's a real cute event. Bringing kids and grandkids. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Quinn. Now we move to the directors. Paul, do you have anything else you want to say, or was you?
I apologize if you're going to say that. I'm
No
so
worries.
sorry.
So Saturday morning, no April Fool's joke. It is happening at W.J. Freeman Park. So there's an Easter hat contest. It formerly was an Easter bonnet contest, but the hat thing may be a little bit easier for some folks to digest. Not everybody knows what a bonnet is these days. So if you want to enter the Easter hat contest, show up by 9:30 for judging for that. Then the hunt will follow. We've got 4 different age groups. So 3 and under will have a corral, 4 and 5-year-olds, 6 and 7-year-olds, and then 8 to 10-year-olds. And it's going to be a beautiful morning, we hope, at Freeman Park, so come on out. Thanks.
Thank you. So now we move to, if a citizen's completed the open discussion citizens forum prior to the start of the meeting, they may come forward, state their name and address for the record. The citizen has up to 3 minutes, at which a time a buzzer will sound, and they must sit down. So if there's have any citizens in the crowd that would like to wish to come to the microphone and speak, please come forward at this time. No one's rushing forward. So with no one coming forward, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. And there's a proper second from Robert Griffin. He said so with his eyes. I read that. And so that concludes the board meeting at this time. Thank you.